everyone and welcome. Today I'm going to show you all the books that I plan to read in October. Now, as always, I have a selection of physical books and then I have a selection of books that I plan to listen to on my way from and to work. Of this entire pile of books, I will prioritize the ones that I have for buddy reads or read-alongs, and this month I have 3. All of them are physical reads, so I am going to start with that part of the TBR first. And the first 2 I am going to go over rather quickly, because these are ones that have been on my TBR before, but I couldn't get to them then. But now I have both of them as part of the read-along, so I am going to prioritize them. The first one is The Sword of Kaigen by M.L. Wang. So this one is a fantasy standalone. It's Asian inspired. I think that war is part of the plot, and you follow a mother-son duo, which is very interesting. I always like when you have some older characters with more life experience in fantasy, so looking forward to this one. And then the other one is Kings of Ash by Richard Nell. So this is the second book in the Ash and Sand trilogy, a grim dark trilogy. And I recently finished the first one. So my thoughts for Kings of Paradise will be in my September wrap-up. Spoiler alert, I really enjoyed it, so I am looking forward to jump into this one. It's going to be my first book that I will pick up in October, because I think that this is also the first live show that we have. Now, as always, I will put all of the dates and links to the calendar down below, so that if you want to join us for any of these live shows and discussions, you definitely can. And then the last book that is a read-along for this month, this is also the book of the month pick, and that is House of Leaves by Mark Danielewski. So this is also the only one that is a little bit in theme of October. It has the spooky vibes. I know that this is about a haunted house, that's all I know. And for this one I also had to break my book buying ban because I didn't own this one yet, and unfortunately it came damaged. So that's a shame, but what can you do about it? I really needed to have this physically, and I couldn't listen to it on audiobook because the build-up of the book is very unique. I don't know if you can see it, but you have certain pages that are almost empty or that has the text upside down. You even have some pictures here. You have words that are in a different color or are, just very, very strange. And I don't really know what to think about this. I think that it will definitely add to the experience, but I'm also a little bit afraid that I will get scared. However, I have heard that this is a creepy read, but you won't have trouble going to sleep alone at night. So I hope that that's true, otherwise I have a problem. The discussion for this one will be the last day of October. So if you want to jump along and read along with us, you definitely can. It's also a standalone. It's perfect for October, so you can definitely do that. Then I do have one more physical read that I hope I can also read in October, because I'm really looking forward to this one, and I have been looking forward to this one since I picked it up a couple of months ago. And that is Latro in the Mist by Jean Wolfe. Now, this is actually a bind-up of the 2 first stories about Latro. I think that there were 4 in total. So the 2 in this one are Soldier of the Mist and Soldier of Arid. Now, in this series you follow Latro. Latro is a Roman mercenary, and when he is in Greece, he suffers from a head injury and he loses his short-term memory. But he now can also talk with the gods and the goddesses. So this sounds like it's something that I will completely adore. I have somebody on my Discord who read it and who said that it's very good. So looking forward to this one. I'm always interested in Roman history, and then fantasy together sounds like it's amazing. So I don't really know where there aren't more fantasy books that are inspired by this time period. If you have any recommendations, then definitely let me know in the comments down below. So those are all of the books that I will read physically, and then now we have the pile of books that I will listen to on audiobook. Now, I was normally going to continue with Magician by Raymond E. Feist, but I am not going to. Again, this is a spoiler for my September wrap-up. If you want to know more about what's going on in that department, you should watch that in a couple of days. But then I had a lot of open time in my schedule for audiobooks, and I picked 3. I don't know, it's quite possible that I will be able to pick up more because these 3 are quite short, but we'll see when we get there. The first one is Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler. This is as part of my Expanding My Horizon series, where I try a different genre. I'm trying sci-fi at the moment. This is quite different from the other 2 that I've tried in the past. So I tried Red Rising trilogy and then Dune. This one actually takes place in our world. So it's a dystopian novel set in America where we follow a young woman who can feel the pain of others. And I suppose that we follow her on her journey. I think that you will actually read the journal entries, which I quite enjoy. I like that style of format. I didn't know that this was a duology, but you also have Parable of the Talents apparently. So if I like this one, I will continue with that book as well. This one is at least very short. It's only 300 pages. So if the other one is also short, I might even be able to cramp it in this month, but I'm not quite sure. Next up, I'm going to listen to a fantasy standalone, and that is The Children of Jocasta by Natalie Haynes. This is a new release that came out a couple of months ago, and I thought that it sounded quite interesting. It's based on Greek mythology, and this author has written books based on Greek mythology before. I think she's most well known for her book 1,000 Ships, which revolves around the War of Troy. Most probably. I haven't read that one, but I like the premise of this one more because you follow two women who have been forgotten in the history of Greek mythology. The first one is Jocasta. She is 15 and she has to marry the king of Thebes. And the other one is of the same age, and she is at home when her castle or her palace gets attacked. So I am looking forward to this one. I think that, of course, these two storylines will intertwine with each other, but I always like it when you have like forgotten women in history. I liked The Witch's Heart, which does that, but for Norse mythology. I liked Circe quite a bit, which does it also for Greek mythology, so looking forward to this one. The next book that I'm going to listen to is quite different from everything else because it feels like traditional fantasy, and that is Blood of an Exile by Brian Naslund. I must say I am a little bit hesitant about this one because I might love it, but it also has some things that I might not enjoy. In this one, we follow a warrior, and he was assassinating a fellow nobleman when he was caught. And normally he should have died, but he was given two choices: either the death penalty straight away, or start slaying dragons. Now, of course, nobody was expecting him to survive this, but it's a couple of years later, and he is now the most well-known dragon slayer ever. However, he is still in exile, he is still shunned by his countrymen. But this can change, because the king gives him an offer. He tells him, well, you can continue doing what you're doing, or you can quit your exile and you'll be redeemed, all of that stuff, if you kill a fellow monarch of mine. Now, this main character couldn't care less, but he can save an innocent child in the process. So this is the typical soldier warrior who has a rough bolster, but a teeny tiny little heart. And I think that this is going to maybe be a little bit funny, which can either be amazing or I'm going to hate it and think it's cringy, and it could have a lot of battle scenes, which is something that I also don't particularly like in fantasy. However, I don't really know why. I was just really intrigued by this book. I decided to buy it, and then I saw that I also had it on audiobook, so why not give it a try? I know that the second one is already out, and I think maybe even the third one came out this year. So if I want to, I can continue with the series. I have the second one also on audiobook, so why not give it a try? If you have read this one, by the way, just remembered, then please let me know if what I think about this one is going to come true. Do you think that I will enjoy it or not? This is the one that I'm most unsure about. So those are all of the books that I'm going to be reading, hopefully, in October. I do have one manga on the list, and I'm just going to show it to you because maybe if I put it on my TBR, I finally make some progress, and that is Vinland Saga Book 3. I really enjoyed this one. I have read the first two books, and then I bought the third one, and somehow I didn't continue with the series. This is historical fiction. You follow some Vikings. You follow this little man who is on a revenge quest because somebody killed his father, and he wants to take revenge. It's really... It has a lot of battle as well, but it's very emotional at times, and it has a good story. So this one I will try to fit in between all of the other books. But those are all of the books that I am going to read. Please let me know if you have a TBR, what's the book that you're most looking forward to, and if you have read any of these or have them on your TBR, what are your thoughts? As always, I hope that you enjoyed the video, and see you next time. Bye!